and all about Ultimate Fighter as well. Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. How you guys?
We're doing
Doing great.
Cut you off
fantastic.
there, did I?
Say it again?
I didn't cut you off then, did I? Did I come in too early?
Oh, no, you're perfect, man. You're perfect.
You're right on the money.
All right, sweet.
Timing is everything.
Hey, how fired up are you for tonight about Ultimate Fighter and debuting on ESPN Plus at 9 o'clock?
Mate, I am pumped. I cannot wait. You know what I mean? It's being there, doing all the filming and whatnot, seeing how it all played out. But let's see how it looks on TV. You know what I mean? Let's see how it's all edited. Let's see if let's see how it comes across. You know, you never know what it's going to look like. But I mean, I can't wait. You know, I think it's going to be a great season and great opportunity, man. I'm very thankful to be where I am. Because, you know, there's so much history in the Ultimate Fighter, and now I'm a part of it, and now I get to watch it myself, you know. It's unreal feeling. Cannot wait.
Alexander, I've always respected your MMA career because you're a type of guy that just kind of goes with the flow a little bit. You know, you don't go out of your way to try to cause controversy. You don't really need to say the big-time quotes. You let your skills do the talking, and obviously those skills got you the championship. But you're going against a guy now on the Ultimate Fighter named Brian Ortega. And Brian Ortega, you know, he seems like a pretty quiet individual, but every once in a while it seems like he might be in a little bad of a mood, or, you know, he said something, or I'm reminded like the whole Korean Zombie build-up where he kind of went after some of his people. How was that interaction working with Brian Ortega?
Yeah, man, look, you're right. You know, I don't talk trash. If there's no beef there, like, you know, there's no beef there. But I mean, usually you don't really have time to spend. Like, there's no reason to really hate someone anyway. But when you're or we're not in the house together, but when you're filming so much with someone, you're competing against each other. You know, I've never had this before, so it's definitely different. You know what I mean? It was friendly before it started, but as the show went on, it started getting, you know, more and more unfriendly. So, you know, there's just, like you said, like, you know, obviously he's a pretty quiet, chilled out dude, but you know what I mean? I'm just the type of guy I am. You know, I'm a professional, and, you know, I'm always going to be on time. We're going to do all this sort of stuff, and, you know, maybe he's a little bit more carefree in that sort of sense, but I'm the type of guy that, you know, I'm going to be vocal when I think I need to be. And, you know, there was times where I had to get vocal, and I can't give away too much. But, again, I'm not the type to talk trash, but it was hard to like the guy, to be honest.
What does it mean for your coaches as well? Because you come from a gym in City Kickboxing that is really world renowned now, right? I mean, you obviously Stylebender, Israel Adesanya, Dan Hooker. You guys kind of put that gym on the map, and now it's obviously well known. It's world renowned, if you will. What does it mean to have some of your coaches there, some of your training partners there to help you out as well?
Oh yeah, man, it was unreal. You know what I mean? It was good because we're the type of guys that, you know, we're going to always have banter. It's always going to be fun. Like, obviously, we're going to have times to be serious, but we know when to have a good laugh. We know when to have a bit of fun, you know, during training and all that, especially when these guys are stuck in a house. You know what I mean? They're stuck in a house, you know, full of egos. You can just imagine, you know what I mean? So we wanted them to come to the gym, sort of be able to have a good laugh, but get stuck into some solid training and whatnot. So, you know, we chose a coaching staff that would definitely work. So, you know, we had guys that are usually with me. Then we threw in guys like Craig Jones, you know, one of the best no-gi grapplers in the world, a fellow Australian as well. And, you know, again, he's got some good banter. You know, he doesn't mind a good prank or two, and he doesn't mind stirring the pot as well. So it was good fun having him on board. But, I mean, mate, it was just a great experience for all of us, you know what I mean? We were just, you know, I'm very thankful to be there, and the fact that we're able to be ourselves on there and have a good laugh and do what we'd normally do in the gym, but be able to bring that to the Ultimate Fighter. You know, I can't wait to see how it all plays out on film tonight.
Have a few more questions here for UFC featherweight undisputed champion Alexander Volkanovski. Your story in mixed martial arts, it's a unique one. You start off as a rugby player, proceeded to lose 70 pounds, and then became a UFC featherweight champion. What was the weight loss like? Was it just a fact of you're doing a new sport, so the body started shedding the pounds, or was it like, all right, I'm 5'6", 5'7", I got to cut some weight to try to make, you know, a little more of a match, I guess, in some of these MMA fights?
Yeah, but it was a slow process to get down, to be quite honest. So I was my last year of football and my first year of MMA. They were in the same year, so I ended up winning the grand final. But I had a couple of fights that year, and I was slowly bringing the weight down. But I mean, yeah, it started off at middleweight. My first fights were at middleweight, and then I went to welterweight. I just worked my way down. So it was a sort of slow process, but it was, mate, it's a blowout. You look at photos and I look like a complete different human. But I mean, it was definitely a lot of hard work involved. But it needed to be done. I'm 5'6" if I'm lucky. You know what I mean? I say I'm 5'6". I don't think I am, but I'll claim it. But Lisa, you can imagine, me fighting middleweights or me fighting light heavyweights. It just doesn't work. So obviously, through a loss in my career and things like that, that was where I started to realize, all right, enough of that shit. Let's slowly bring ourselves down, and that's what we did. You know what I mean? And obviously, as soon as I bring that weight down and went to the divisions that I should be in, I haven't lost ever since. So it was obviously the right choice.
Absolutely.
Alexander Volkanovski with us here at Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martin, Austin Lane. Very interesting, Alexander. You follow the path of my co-host here. Played in the NFL for a few years. Now he's fighting in the MMA. Now he's a radio star. You're a TV star tonight on Ultimate Fighter and ESPN Plus. Hey, how big is MMA? And I think Austin's, we've talked about this before, but how big is it in Australia? Give us an understanding of the popularity of it down under for the folks that are here. Man,
it's definitely growing more and more each month, to be quite honest. But it's definitely big in Australia. We've always had a big support. That's why Dana White loves bringing the UFC to Australia because it's always a sold out arena. But mate, it's definitely grown. To be quite honest, through this whole pandemic. And Dana doing what he did, being able to keep the sport going, and things like having some of the biggest cards going while it was deep in COVID, I think that was absolutely massive in Australia because that just brought it to a whole nother level. So, it was definitely got a mainstream through the pandemic, I do believe. So, mate, it's huge here now. It really is. Like I remember back in the day when I first started getting in the UFC, I've been watching UFC a long time. No one knew about it. Honestly, it was like barely anyone knew about it. I was watching it on Blockbuster videos and whatnot. Talk to people about it, they would have no idea. And then just to see it grow over the years, it's just been incredible. Right now, it almost seems like it's everywhere.
Alexander, I got one last question for you. Obviously, when the show wraps up, The Ultimate Fighter on ESPN Plus, it's going to wrap up with you and Brian Ortega going head-to-head. And if you follow Brian Ortega, obviously a guy, whose last couple of fights has looked pretty impressive in terms of his striking, adding new tools, adding new wrinkles, has always had that jiu-jitsu background and that base to go off of. From your perspective, what do you see from Brian Ortega? How do you think you match up against him, and how do you maintain that belt?
Yeah, man, he obviously definitely showed improvements over his last couple of fights. More well-rounded as well. So, but I mean, I'm so confident in my abilities. Just what I know and how I know how I move. Not only how I understand, I feel like I've got a really good understanding of the sport itself, but I've got a real good understanding of how I move and what I do and what works for me and what doesn't work. And you know what I mean. And I can capitalize on my tools so well, and I feel like I can capitalize on opponents' tools or things, places where they struggle. You know what I mean? So I think that's what separates me from the rest. I'm so well rounded, but I know how to put it together better than anyone. And I just believe I'm on a whole nother level. I've always got respect for my opponents. I know they're great fighters, but I just think I'm too much right now. And but again, I can talk the talk, but I mean it won't be long till I get to prove it. So. You're just going to have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, we will certainly wait and see that. Alexander Volkanovski, thanks for joining us on ESPN 690, man. We'll have fun watching the show. Good luck.
Thanks.